It's December 1961 and 21-year-old English student Micheline Wandor is in love.
He was American, and so he wasn't a kind of class-ridden public school boy like lots of the others were. And he was Jewish and he was from New York, and we got on very well very quickly.
Getting on very well and very quickly meant the subject of sex soon arose. But this was before the 60s had really started to swing, and at Cambridge University, where Micheline was studying, getting caught having sex could bring your university career to an end.
The colleges themselves had very, very strict moral codes. So, for example, at Newnham, you could have men visitors in the evening, but they had to sign in, I think, after 6 or 7 o'clock, and then they had to be out by 10. You couldn't stay out overnight, at least you weren't supposed to stay out overnight. Lots of people did, and either climbed in over the fences or you didn't come back until the following morning. But it was very, very kind of strictly policed, and if anyone was in some way caught transgressing and misbehaving sexually, they could be, as the phrase had it, sent down.
So just to clarify, sent down meant...
You got chucked out, you got thrown out of the university.
So sex was a risky business. You could be thrown out of university and you could end up with an unwanted pregnancy. But Micheline and her boyfriend weren't put off.
We both, even without saying very much, anticipated the relationship would last for some time anyway. And I wasn't quite sure what to do. And I suppose, looking back, he could have said, oh, well, no, don't worry, I'll sort it, I'll take responsibility. But he didn't. And I said, well, I don't know what to do. So he suggested talking to my doctor. And that was my doctor at home, not the Cambridge doctor. So the next holiday, I went and saw the doctor. And I said, I've got a serious boyfriend, serious relationship. And we want to sleep together, I think I may have said. I'm sure I didn't mention the word sex. And I don't know what to do, or what shall I do? And without any further discussion, he pushed a packet across the desk at me, and it was a contraceptive pill. And I knew nothing about the contraceptive pill, but, it was a doctor is supposed to know. I can't even remember whether he said, read on the packet how to take it and blah, blah, blah. And so I just took the pill, and it was amazing. Very simple.
So it was literally as simple as that. He literally just pushed the packet across to you.
Yes, absolutely. No conversation, well, you could do this, or he could do that, or there is a diaphragm, or there are condoms, or there this. I don't know, maybe he was embarrassed that here I was going to a London suburban doctor and saying rude things. He'd probably just been given it as a kind of sample pack by the pharmaceutical company. I have no idea.
Micheline had been completely unaware of the existence of the contraceptive pill, but she must have been one of the very first women to be given the pill for free, as the announcement had been made just a few weeks earlier on the 4th of December. She didn't realise how lucky she was. While the Minister for Health had instructed that doctors could decide for themselves whether to prescribe it to married or single women, at this point in time, most women went to specialist family planning clinics for contraceptive advice rather than to their local doctors. And at these clinics, you had to be married to receive the pill, like these women.
To me, it's complete freedom. You've never got to worry to plan. There's no comparison between the pill and any other form of contraceptive. It just makes a better marriage.
Our marriage was in a pretty dicey state, actually, a little while back. And because our sexual life was still pretty active, the pill has made all the difference in the world.
The pill had been available as a treatment for gynecological conditions in the late 50s. But now that it was available on the National Health Service and as a contraceptive, the drug really caught on. Within just 4 years, the pill was big business. In the UK, up to 500,000 women were taking the pill, and they had the choice of 11 different brands.
The pills are expensively and seductively packaged, more like cosmetics than medicines. They're usually in wallets or revolving dial compacts which contain 1 month's supply. The dose is 1 a day for 21 days in every menstrual cycle. The day is printed by the side of every pill, and providing she can remember what day it is, a woman can be quite sure whether or not she has taken today's pill.
Did you have complete sort of 100% faith in this pill?
I must have done. I just didn't think. I just thought the idea that you just swallow a pill and that means you don't get pregnant. I think partly because although I knew lots about sex, it wasn't because my mother had told me, because she hadn't. I'd, like lots of people, I'd found out in all kinds of ways, some of which were talking to other girls at school and people saying, oh, did you know, did you know, did you know? So I knew a lot about it. But I think at the same time, it wasn't the kind of, if you like, scientific or quasi-scientific knowledge that people have now. And people know much more about sexuality and childbirth and conception. So perhaps the idea that you could take a pill and that meant you wouldn't get pregnant and you could enjoy sex had a kind of magic feel to it. It was an aid to having a kind of lifestyle that for me made life a lot more exciting and better. So it was neither, gosh, I completely trust this, or, oh God, what if I get pregnant? Because I just assumed that it did what it said.
But by 1965, fears were growing about possible side effects. There were reports of women having died from blood clots after taking the pill. This doctor, interviewed for a BBC programme at the time, describes how the pill affected her.
In the first month of all, I was pretty sick. I had quite a lot of breast discomfort. I also noticed a very considerable diminution in my menstrual flow, which was a benefit. And on some of the pills, just a little dulling of my mental acuity.
You talk about some of the pills. You've taken a selection of them, have you?
Yes, I've taken quite a lot. I thought that really I ought to act as a guinea pig if I was prescribing all sorts of different kinds to patients. And I found some suited me much better than others.
But these women said the only side effects they experienced were beneficial.
Our skin's improved drastically. I've always had trouble with my skin, and it was in 3 months. My figure, after having children, I had gone flat and lost my figure, and my figure came back and my weight stays level. Everything's been beneficial. We've had no bad side effects at all. Our hair isn't so greasy. No. I put on a little weight at the beginning, but I soon levelled off, and now we eat everything, chocolate, sweets. There's a lot.
Micheline Wandor too felt no ill effects. Instead, she felt that this, her first proper relationship, might never have developed and eventually turned into marriage without it.
I think it was actually quite critical, because it meant we could have mechanically untrammelled sexual relationship, wherever, whenever, however. It just did not get in the way. But I think looking back at the time, I don't know. I mean, it would be crude to say if I hadn't taken the pill, our relationship wouldn't have lasted. It probably is too crude to say that. But I think it did make a difference. It was speedy, it was easy, it was pleasurable.